condition.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I guess
water damage and shit.
Also, the area itself too is not exactly highly sought after.
No. This is a supply and demand question.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of demand everywhere, just not Tamaqua.
No, not so much.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Stochastic.com NBA strategy show presented by PrizePicks. I'm Dave Loughran at Lafayette_D on Twitter. Boy, do I feel a lot better today. Was just gassed last night. Throwing us on a 7:30 show. I feel great today. Oh, boy, do I feel good. Already got out a 2-mile walk with the hound. She almost chased the rat. She almost pulled me over. I actually had her. There's a place called Bishop's Winery near me, and I take her with us, and she's real good. She chills. She saw another dog that she wanted to play with. I was sitting on the chair, and I have the pincher collar. Not a choker, but the pincher. Very good for her. She's a burly fella.
Yeah.
And dude,
she's a burly fella.
Pulled me. I had a beer in my hand with slides on. Pulls. I fly out of the chair. The slides go 15 feet in the air. The beer goes everywhere. And it wasn't even her fault. I mean, it's natural instinct and she just wanted to play. But she's tough, man. She's strong. Tried going after a rabbit today. And here I am, feeling good. The blood's pumping, feeling good. I'm with Josh Engleman at Josh Engleman. He was feeling good last night, huh? How you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm a lot better than the Boston Celtics.
Man. Somebody tweeted at us a few days ago, last Thursday when it was Greg and myself on, and was like, you guys are clowns. You didn't open with Miami and Boston, right? Like just assuming that we're assuming that we're trying to memory hole this as if it's not everywhere on YouTube and, we're trying to whitewash it. It's silly. First of all, we did open with that. Second of all, I'm not going to open the same way with Greg as I do with you because we do every show together and we have callbacks from what we talked about the day before. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's not the same. It's not the same at all.
Yeah, this is insane. And you would be the first person to say you didn't see this come.
No one did.
No one saw this coming.
Dude, they almost lost to the Bulls in the second game of the play-in.
And they lost to the Hawks in the first round in an uncompetitive game.
We've never seen anything like this.
Me neither. Let me be very clear, too. I'm not disparaging the Heat at all. I mean,
they're doing everything they should.
I'm saying I did not see it coming. You didn't see it coming. And maybe Sean Dre saw it coming. Sure. But anybody that is intellectually honest is saying, like even Heat fans after 3 games have to be going, and I'm not talking Mike Lawrence type fandom, right? Where they could be facing the 96 Bulls and he's like, got him in 4, clean sweep. I know you're watching, Mike. You know how I feel about that nonsense. I'm not talking about that, right? I'm not talking about the just blind, optimistic fandom. I'm talking about the well-reasoned, objective fan. There's not a single way you're going, yeah, I saw Miami up 3-0. I saw them with the sweep, clear in sight, minus 1,200 to win the series after 3 games. Come on, man. It's crazy, and it's honestly kind of cool.
Look, I like seeing it. I don't like cheer against a team going on this kind of run. I just don't expect it to happen. So I'm not going to talk about it on a day-to-day basis like I think it continues. It's been a combination of both things. Like, you're getting the extreme on both sides. Boston is just putting in an all-time ass level performance on one
100%.
end, and Miami is just like fully unflappable. And like Jimmy Butler is like growing in power as the days go by. Like, he's getting bigger and bigger, just feeding on the awfulness of Boston. And then we're going to go out there and we're going to see the Nuggets just put the hammer down on Miami in like 5 games. And we're going to stop thinking about all of this. It's insane.
You know what? I'm unwilling to say that at this point with what I've seen through this series.
No, that look, we got to be honest. I'm going to talk about the Nuggets the same way that I talked about the Celtics here. Just because it ended up being wrong doesn't mean the path of the conversation is wrong. The Nuggets are going to be massive favorites against Miami.
I was going to ask you, what do you think the season series money line would be? And what do you think game 1 spread would be?
I mean, the Nuggets are going to be like 8 or 9 point favorites, 8-point favorites, right? Something like that.
So is Boston in their home games.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if we're using that as a reference point, I think we're probably getting to like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Probably minus 300.
I was going to say
like
minus 300, minus 320 to win the series. Yeah. But
so far during the playoffs, Denver, very clearly the number one team in the playoffs, no matter what anybody wants to say, plus 9.6 point differential. Miami's second at this point at plus 5.4. That's 4 points just in the playoffs at this point in time. Now, add in the fact that like Miami's in theory played harder competition because they were coming from the bottom of the bracket in comparison to Denver. But I mean, Denver has been everything they're supposed to be.
It is the funniest thing about all of this to me, right? And by the way, very happy to have you guys with us. Let's kick off the week with a fun show here, an informative show, get you in and out, start your day on the right foot. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the 32 like. Come on, you guys, come on. We've done this. We've run this drill many times. Take a second, atone for your sins here. Wash yourselves clean. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below if you're listening after the fact or watching after the fact. We always see you guys. We know it. We appreciate it. And if you're in podcast form, we know you're out there. Leave a rating or review if you haven't. Really, though, that stuff helps us a ton. And subscribing to the pod and all of that stuff. You know what's most amazing to me, and you kind of hit on it a second ago.
That chat is just all over Miami, but they won't put their money where their mouth is. Yeah, that's amazing to me.
That is amazing as well. But how about this? It's not like the Miami Heat got in as this, clean 6 seed where they didn't have to get the play-in games. They almost lost in the play-in games. Again, this is not shit talking Miami for all you people that get butthurt about all this stuff. This is saying that we had a team that was legitimately with how much time left in that Chicago game on the brink of not making the playoffs at all. And here they are up 3 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's a marvel to look at.
Here we go. I'm pulling it up right now on Unpredictable. There was a point in time in the game. Let me factor in pregame odds as well. In the fourth quarter, the Bulls led 90 to 80. Now we can do even better than that. 85 to 80 with 6 minutes to go. They were 75% to win that game. And then Miami just doesn't even make the actual playoffs.
I know.
Like they were up against it early. At 3 minutes and 24 seconds left to go. 71% likelihood to win. Bulls lead 90-87 with the ball.
Is Eric Spoelstra the best coach in basketball?
I think he was before we even started this year. And
me too. I really think he's
certainly looking more and more in that direction. He's incredible. He's incredible.
The best coach in the league.
We're basically, it's like watching an NBA player play a WNBA player in coaching.
I don't know. Dude. I think they're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah. You think Missoula is like a close second?
Yeah, I mean, I think NBA, WNBA, I think it's a close game probably if you were to put like the best NBA team against the best WNBA team.
Why don't those women transition over to the NBA and playing? It makes some money.
Oh my.
Why would they just keep playing in that league that doesn't make anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's comparable.
Yeah, look, I think we can say I think you can make a pretty good case that this is the best coach in the league against the worst coach in the league in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Very, very possible.
And that's just like, what's that worth?
And you know what? Coaching isn't everything. You still need Jimmy Butler to do what he's done. You still needed Bam to engage. And it's not to say that he's had a bad postseason, but he's looked much better in this series. You still need your role players to step up. And you still need to clamp down on defense, which they have. But there's no doubt at all that Eric Spoelstra he's the best. I'm just thinking around the league. I can't think of another. This is the crazy part. And it's possible that out of 30 teams, I'm just misremembering, just drawing a blank. I can't think of another coach that's a close second.
Like, I have to assume that this would be going better for Boston if they even just had Steven Silas. And he's no longer employed.
Probably.
I just want to know what happened to Boston's defense. Like, all the personnel is the same from a team that had the best defense in the league. This is Marcus Smart, the guy that won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Now, don't get me wrong. That was a fraudulent award that he won, but neither here nor there. Great defensive player. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, at the minimum, average defensive players. I think they're better than that, but at a minimum, you can't say that they're below average. Obviously, Al Horford, great defensively. Robert Williams, great defensively. Why does this team suck so bad defensively? Is that coaching? Is that the players? Is it both? Probably both. I think a lot of it's coaching.
Yeah, I think it's both. It's always both. It's always both. It's never just one reason,
Yeah.
Never just one reason. Robert Williams played the 30 minutes that Katz was projecting yesterday too.
Yeah. Yeah, played a ton. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, we were wrong there. He played 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Whew.
I know he's in some foul trouble, but nope, 13 minutes. All right. Let's talk a little basketball here for tonight's game. It's very possible that we have a sweep in both. That is so crazy to think about. That we've had some really great series, to be clear, through the first couple rounds of the postseason. It would be nuts if we had two sweeps in the conference finals, and one of them is the team that barely got into the finals to begin with. Milwaukee out in the first round at the hands of the Miami Heat, and then the Denver Nuggets up 3-0 in LA today. LA though, Josh, still 3-point favorites in this game. I'm tempted to take the points. I'm honestly tempted to just take the money line with Denver tonight.
I want to ask you a question about Boston, Miami right before we get to that, because I am tempted. I like Denver here tonight to just end
plus
the
135.
Lakers. What's the line for the series if Boston wins game 4?
And it's 3-1.
Heading back to Boston, 2 out of the next 3 games going to be in Boston.
Miami minus 450.
Man.
Oh yeah, Miami still has to be a big favorite here.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's less than that though.
You think it's what, like 300?
Probably something like that. Yeah.
I'll tell you
if the Boston Celtics win game 4 and go back to Boston down 3-1 with 2 home games, it's going to be tense. Don't get me wrong. I like Miami, but I think it feels a lot different if Boston does that than if the Lakers did that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, yes, but also just because, Denver was number 1 in the conference and Miami is a team that, there's still a lot of, there's still, I won't say uncertainty, but there's clearly still doubt surrounding a team but Miami's for real now. They are. You can't look back at this. They are. At this point, you can't say they aren't. You can't say that Miami's not for real at this point. I would say it's probably minus 450 or so. The thing about Boston is after they went down 3-2 to the Sixers, there was never a doubt in my mind. And this isn't just me being a pessimist. There's never a doubt in my mind that Boston could just come back and easily take game 6 and 7. But with the way they've played against Miami, I have a difficult time believing that they can win 4 straight games. I have a real tough time believing they have played terrible basketball.
Yeah, look, it's obviously not likely. I wouldn't be predicting it in any way. I think Boston just hides under a rock and goes away for the rest of the year. But if they pick up game 4, the discourse heading into game 5 becomes very, very interesting. The real problem here for Boston is the fact that they've been such absolute dog shit at home. They just keep losing home games and home games and home games. So there's no threat there, but it would be fascinating to see it.
Yeah, it would. All right.
Because if you get 2 out of 3 at home, it's just like, okay, we just got to get this first one. And if we get the first one, momentum is on our side. You can talk yourself back into that. They've just looked like such absolute lifeless shit that I don't think it's possible.
That's the problem. Yeah. They'd have to come in. I don't see it happen. They got routed in game 3. Smoked.
It was over basically before it felt like it was over before it even started.
In an absolute must-win game. Of course, all these games are, must win in the sense that you would like to win them, but no, horrible. Anyway, let's talk about Denver and the Lakers. 224.5 total here. Lakers 3-point favorites at home. Like I said, I honestly do have some interest in Denver today. It's not, it's not a spot I'm willing to die on, but I definitely think that just with the way that Denver has played, I'm not sure I trust the Lakers as 3-point favorites here. Money line on this, if you were to just look at it across the board at all different books, there are some spots where you can get decent value, but for the most part, you're looking at anywhere from plus 130 to plus 135 if you wanted Denver. Plus 135 for the most part. I get it. Lakers backed up against the wall, down 3-0. But from a fantasy standpoint, here we go, man. Nikola Jokic, 66% owned, 22% in the captain spot on DraftKings. And yes, for those who ask, we'll spend a minute on FanDuel just to give you the same, the same breakdown.
1 minute. Just 1 minute. That's it.
As we always do. It's pretty straightforward. Also, all of our tools have FanDuel Showdown content, everything you need, all the tools possible for FanDuel. Just a lot more nuance going into something like DraftKings. Let's start it off with Jokic. And how do we want to approach this one? And is it going to force us again, Josh, to play a $1,000 player?
$13,600. I don't know if I can remember that ever being higher as a Showdown. Somebody probably has that information. I think that's the highest salary I've ever seen in Showdown. Do
you know what that's like Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry NFL Showdown. Remember that? Those prices.
Yeah.
Where they're 20,000 plus to play in the captain spot.
He's priced $2,000 ahead of Anthony Davis and is still owned more than Anthony Davis. He looks great. I don't know what else to say. I'm over the field in the aggregate. I got a little bit more in the utility than I do at the captain spot. Yes, I think 1K guys are viable in this series because of Jokic. Whoever you want to go to, there's no one that you can project, I think, that is viable. Like, you're kind of just crossing your fingers. I use Peyton Watson and Malik Beasley as my placeholders. Feel free to go any direction there. But that is a viable outlook today. I think, you probably get something in that 15 to 20% aggregate exposure to 1K guys because of Jokic.
What was the winning lineup on Saturday night? Do you know? Or even the optimal?
I mean, I can find out if you want to know.
I am interested because it was one of those games where Jokic, clearly was good for a basketball player, but for Jokic's price point, he had 24, 6, 8, and 1. Not exactly a game that at this price point is going to get you there. Not to say he can't do that today because he's just been so stellar. We talked about it last night on the show, but that was the Jamal Murray show in that one.
And that was, let's see, Saturday. Winning lineup in the shoot around was Murray captain, AD, Reeves, Porter Jr., KCP, Lonnie Walker. So no Jokic.
How about that? So it's possible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, you're usually going to get like one game out of each series that you won't get each sort of pay up guy.
And it makes sense because if Jokic has a game where he probably finished with like 40 some fantasy points, he probably finished with like low to mid 40s, right?
I'm trying to hunt it down.
Probably like, if I don't know what his turnovers were, but in my head, like 45, 46 or something like that, probably 47, somewhere in that range.
Fucking find him. He had 45 and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's not going to get you there.
No,
but it's
not at these salaries.
It's also an extreme outlier game from Jokic. Do you like the idea of running a lot of Jokic at utility and less captain today, or are you just going to spray everywhere with Jokic, whether it's captain and utility? Because utility at least gives you a little bit of flexibility.
So I have more of him at the utility spot, but I think you're just kind of putting him in like 3 out of every 4 lineups you make either way. I don't have much. It's really just hard to talk about Nikola Jokic in that regard. You just sort of play him a lot. If you don't have him, you definitely have one of AD and LeBron, and you just move forward from there. You probably have Murray. But I do like the idea of going to a little bit more of him at utility and then using a slightly cheaper guy at the captain spot to try to like offset the 13.6 price tag that you're already paying.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
It is.
Let's do something for a second here. Let's see what we can get to. And if Jordan wants to screen share DraftKings, let's just do a little thought exercise here because I haven't looked at any lineups yet. Let's just throw Jokic at captain and see what pops up. Or we could talk about what you've got going on your side and what those lineups with Jokic at captain look like. Because now if you captain Jokic, and again, I'm not out there saying don't captain Nikola Jokic, obviously. But if you do, you've got less than $6,000 per player remaining. So again, let's just say you want to throw Davis in there along with Nikola Jokic. Now you've got $4,500 remaining. We kind of know where this is going.
I mean, my highest ranked lineup is Jokic AD, and you're going to get some garbage at the rest of it. I got Aaron Gordon, Rui, Schroeder, and Jeff Green. That's, I don't know, like a top 5 fantasy point projection lineup. Spends the full 50K. Like, that's going to be close to a cash lineup for today.
Yeah. And it's not bad. You know,
No.
I don't hate it, but there's no way that's not popular. Maxing out the 50K.
Yeah.
And getting those players in there. I'm not, again, it makes you wonder, do you go and do you just say, all right, I'm going to play for all of these 4K range guys not to play? Well, the problem is that Rui's getting so many minutes right now at that price. Yeah. It's tough to get away from that. Could Rui go back to not playing significant minutes? Sure. But 28, 30, and 34 in this series, that's tough.
I mean, even if you put him in for 24 or 22, like, he's still a really good play at 4,600 because there's just nobody else to like soak that kind of stuff up.
Exactly. This is where I go, okay, does it make more sense to say, I'm going to fade Schroeder here, who's, gotten decent minutes, but has just been dismal. I mean, on a per minute production basis, he's been terrible this series.
Sure.
Also playing alongside all of these other guys. And now Rui's actually been involved. So you're just playing ninth fiddle in this offense. Is there a way that we can maybe get one more of like a Reeves, Porter, Russell or something, punt with a 1K guy? Maybe that works. Maybe that's more viable. That actually doesn't work though. Even if you go down to 1K, if you still had Gordon and Rui, it doesn't work. You'd have to go down to, I don't even think Murray would get you there, actually.
If we're talking Jokic captain still?
Jokic captain. Yeah. You could get to Bruce Brown if you swap from Davis to Murray. It would be Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Rui. I threw Gabriel in there. It doesn't matter. Throwing whatever. Yeah. And Bruce Brown. KCP you could get to, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't have I can get Jokic, AD, Murray, Schroeder, Green, and a punt. You can do like
that's Reeves. Not crazy.
No. And those, they rank pretty well. If you want to go to punts, you could look at something like Jokic, AD, Reeves, Rui, Schroeder, which I like, but that's a lot of Lakers on top of Jokic.
Yep.
It's hard, man. It's really hard because Jokic's salary is just so absolutely massive. But at the same time, I think the punt is just right there for you if you're going. Look, when you use Jokic a captain, the punt is going to be very popular. It just is.
It has to be. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw lineups that had, Christian Brown in there with a 1K punt so that people can get to a Murray, Davis, and Jokic lineup just so they can, I honestly, looking at this and the more we talk about it, the more we discuss it, that additional, let's see, that additional 5K you're getting for Jamal Murray over Jokic, a captain, probably makes a huge difference.
It massively changes the lineup construction that you have by removing that 13-6 from the 1.5x spot. It's just so much easier to build out a lineup that's got like real names in it.
Yeah.
Like I can get to Murray captain, AD, Russell, Gordon, Hachimura, Schroeder.
One more time. AD captain.
Sorry, Murray captain.
Okay.
AD, Russell, Gordon, Hachimura, Schroeder. Those are 6 guys that play for real with no punts.
Yeah. That's the Jokic fade lineup.
It is the Jokic fade lineup.
Which I think we at least have to be somewhat receptive to at this point.
Yeah. Look, at 13-6, he can have a good day and still not make that lineup.
Mm-hmm. We had a
sort of depends on how Anthony Davis plays at that point.
We had a super chat from Wade. Okay. Paolo, Cade Cunningham, Zion, or Edwards, pick 2 rest of their career.
Paolo and Edwards.
You can't do Zion just because you don't know if he's going to play.
No, I like Cade, but I think Detroit, being in the city of Detroit for the next 6 years is going to ruin him.
I don't know. I have a tough time not putting Cade up there with those guys.
I don't know how, like, Edwards is obviously the first pick of those four guys, and it is not close.
Yes.
And I think Paolo, after that rookie year, you have like Zion's the best player in that group. When all of these guys are actualized to their best selves, I don't think that anybody on there can be better than Zion is when he plays offensively.
Yep, but that wasn't the question.
Right. Well, I'm just, I'm just walking through all of it.
I know.
I can't pick him.
Right.
But he does have the high, like, I could understand somebody picking Zion saying when he's on the floor, he's the best of those four guys. He's just never on the floor.
I'm just not convinced that Detroit you're just going to waste away there. And hear me out.
This is a team that gave $10 million to Marvin Bagley and then traded for James Wiseman. They are going to make bad decision after bad decision until Troy Weaver's not their GM.
They absolutely do. Terribly dumb. But sometimes weird shit just happens in the NBA and you end up lucking into a player that changes things. Like, who knows?
That could have happened for them, but they dropped from the top spot to fourth, and now they don't get dick during the draft.
I know that. Yeah. Maybe they get the top pick next year. Who knows?
He'll probably take another
Cade.
center.
I like Cade.
So do I. I'm a big Cade fan. I can't put him ahead of Paolo now after that year, and I certainly can't put him ahead of Ant. So he just sort of like, he has to finish third by default.
I agree. I look at it and I go, he could end up being that guy that we look back and go, yeah, he was the best. All right. Hey, Brandon said someone shipped a 150K solo yesterday.
I mean, the game was over in the middle of the third quarter and Luke Cornett played like 15 minutes. You're going to get solo shippers for yesterday.
Yeah, but it's still interesting to see on a one-game basketball slate. Well, but we talked about that too, saying like if this game does in fact blow out, I said this last night, if it ends up being a however many point game, then those punts, like what was the lineup? Do you know?
Gabe Vincent, captain.
You called that, by the way. We had a guy hit us up, and thank you for that.
Tatum, Butler, Smart, Martin, Duncan Robinson.
Tatum, Butler, Smart. Who else? Duncan Robinson and
Caleb Martin.
Okay.
Jason Tatum made the winning lineup with a 34 fantasy point performance. That's how bad everybody else was.
Speaking of, yesterday someone had a shot at winning $1 million on PrizePicks. How do you think they did, Josh?
I'm guessing they didn't win $1 million.
They did.
They did win $1 million?
No, of course not. It was
holy shit. I'm like, motherfucker.
How many overs do you think they went with?
6.
They went with 6. Silly that I even asked this question anymore. Jason Tatum over 46 PRA. Jaylen Brown over 24 points. So immediately there, you're just going, okay, I'm going to go overs on both of these guys for Boston. He finished with 12. Jimmy Butler over 51 fantasy points. And like, look, I don't blame this guy. I'm not saying these are all great picks, but the game blew out. It was crazy. Bam Adebayo over 28.5 points plus rebounds. Oh man, did he blank? Shohei Ohtani 44.5 fantasy score over. I don't know. I didn't look at that. And then Corey Kluber over 2.5 earned runs. It's very possible that he blanked here. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
You should get $1 million for also going 0 of 6.
Yeah, I mean, 0 of 6
just as hard.
I was just gonna say, it's just as hard as going 6 for 6. It just doesn't feel as good, I think.
I'd be fine going low, man.
Yeah, at least in this case, if he misses 3 of them out of the gate, say, all right, it's over. Time to go to
They
bed.
should give you something for 0 of 6, though.
Like $1,000.
Yeah. What's like a more shameful way to pay that? $1?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No. A PrizePicks swag bag.
I mean, that's valuable to me.
Yes.
I'm wearing the shirt right now. It's comfortable as hell.
Yes, but I'm saying when you have the shot of winning $1 million and they're like, for your troubles, what's your address?
I'd be fine with like an Arby's gift card or something,
Oh,
something real
get a
shameful.
double beef and cheddar. I'd be very happy with that.
It's so bad, but so good.
If you haven't though, Prize Picks.
Mm.
I don't even know why. You guys should you're getting a free month of Stochastic Plus Platinum when you
Yeah.
sign up using the link in the description or in chat. What does that mean? It means all of the tools that we talk about, the boom bust tool, the ownership, the player projections, all the projected data. When you watch the baseball shows and you see, the top pitchers tool, the top stacks tool, which are just the best tools, the preeminent tools out there, top hitters tool, or you have an MMA show and you're like, the top fighters tool. What's that? Ownership on that, the projections on that, PGA top golfers tool and all of that, NASCAR, tennis, NBA, NHL, MLB, showdown for everything, main slates, MLB, NBA lineup generators included in this, everything. Free month, $120 value, including the premium Discord. You're getting it for free. You're getting all of this for free, 100%. And, if you don't like it, oh no, you deposited on Prize Picks. You probably will enjoy playing there. You're getting 100% first match deposit bonus at Prize Picks regardless. So if you put 100 in, you've now doubled it already and you have 200, then you're getting the free month. Like, I didn't like it, but I play DFS every day anyway. I'm still going to play DFS, but I had an entire month to check this out. I mean, I don't really know a better way to describe. We do this because we think you're going to like the tools. Otherwise, we wouldn't be giving you free months when you sign up at Prizes. We do it because you think you're going to win and you're going to stick around. That's simple, man.
It really is that simple. That's the problem here, or what sounds like the problem. It's as easy of a setup as you're going to find with getting that free month, getting that extra 100 bones. Maybe you can get a t-shirt that looks like this one day, incredibly soft and comfortable.
If you go 0 for 6, yeah.
If only. I didn't pick up the dub yesterday on my Prize Picks video. Unfortunately, I had Jaylen Brown. I did have Gabe Vincent as one of the pieces. He absolutely nuked his fantasy score, but Jaylen Brown just never even had a chance. I think he had like 18 fantasy points.
Yeah, it was a rough one, but it was a weird game.
Second team All NBA player playing for their lives and just a complete no-show. But I'm back today. The run is still on. Don't get it twisted. Check out the Odd Shopper channel.
Josh video, on the Odd Shopper channel for free every day. But check it out, man. If you haven't yet, link in the description and chat. You click it. Takes 2 seconds to sign up. Takes 2 seconds to sign up. Get your deposit match bonus, 100%. Get your free month. It's a legitimate no-brainer if you're not in on it yet. If Prize Picks is available in your state and you're looking to scratch that itch in a non-legal betting state as well. You're just taking the over/under on any of these spots. Put them into a card, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And the last thing I'll say about this, it's super important for you guys. If you're playing parlays elsewhere, notice that when you build lineups at Prize Picks, if you go for 5, the 5 picks flex play to 10x. If you hit 4, you still 2x. If you hit 3, you still make money back. So you can sustain a bankroll and also win a lot of money too. You're not just, I went 4 for 5. I lost everything today. Let me run it back tomorrow. Huge difference from all of those other pick'em sites where you have to hit everything to get any type of payout. So check it out. Link in the description and chat. Come say hi in the Discord. We'll see you guys over there when you sign up and get that free month. All right. Want to talk a little bit of value plays here?
Yeah, I guess apparently Carmelo Anthony retired. I guess he scheduled that tweet a year ago and it just came out today.
So I think we got into a lot of the value plays already.
Yeah.
The Rui one is just it's very obvious.
I think Schroeder's the same way, but he's way less owned in comparison to what I think he should be. But that's like, I don't think that Jared Vanderbilt and Dennis Schroeder should have the same ownership today.
Me neither. No, it's funny though, because you have all of these guys on this team where there is still uncertainty with minutes. Like, maybe, Rui's been playing the minutes. Yeah. Vanderbilt's been starting and playing like 15 minutes or whatever. He's just been god awful. Dennis Schroeder's been getting a lot of minutes, but you don't know. This is a do or die game. This is one of those weird spots where you might just be forced to change something up and it blindsides us, whether it's in game or it's before the game and we get a different starting lineup. Are there any things that you think they could do differently today? Not to say that it's going to work, but maybe just last ditch effort to try and get in get a dub before they go back to Denver?
I mean, if you want to go Schroeder, Reeves, Rui, LeBron, AD as a starting lineup, I guess that's like the final break in case of emergency thing to try now, where you remove D'Angelo Russell from the starting lineup. I don't know how well that's going to go over just in general. That's the only move they've got left. They're out of, they don't have enough bullets in the gun.
Yeah.
It's incredible that they got to the point where they're at now. Like, we look back at that trade and the deadline, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's an absolute win for the Lakers. And then you start looking at it, and it's like, well, Russell's been ass to the point where I don't think they want to bring him back. Hachimura wasn't like the move that you thought was going to be a thing. He's proven to be relevant for this series. Malik Beasley doesn't play at all right now. Jared Vanderbilt basically played his way out of the playoff rotation in 2 separate series. Like, they're going out of their way to not use him. The only thing that ever mattered for the Lakers
would they have been better if they still had Westbrook?
No, not so much. The only thing that ever mattered for this Lakers season was simple. Are LeBron James and Anthony Davis healthy enough to play in the series? If they are, then they're live always. If they're not, then it's not. And now we're just running into a case where AD and LeBron are healthy and ready to go. They don't have as much firepower as the Denver Nuggets. And like, that's just it. They're good. They just don't have enough. There's not enough power after that. You've lucked, I don't want to say lucked, but like, you've lucked into this Austin Reeves experience where he has become so much more than anybody expected him to be, that they could have ever imagined to squeeze juice out of somebody. You're never going to get more out of Austin Reeves than what you're getting right now. It's still not enough.
It's not even close to enough. Yeah. Michael said, and I do want to talk about this. Michael Knack said, just captain Rui and take the profit. Well, I mean, it's certainly one way to look at it, but we do need to get into the conversation of with Davis isn't particularly cheap either. Okay. Davis is still expensive. Nikola Jokic is astronomically priced. Murray's price from the start of this series is up considerably. LeBron James is $12,000 before you put him into the captain spot. What type of merit is there to saying, you know what, maybe Rui does play 33 minutes today and he's at the captain spot? I mean, Caleb Martin was in the optimal captain yesterday. It is possible. Weirder things have happened. Maybe all of these top guys have good games, but not ridiculous games. And you need a cheaper captain to get everybody in because you need them. And all of the mid-range guys largely stink.
Rui Hachimura is my fourth most owned captain behind AD, Jokic, and in this case, I've got a little bit more Schroeder, but we're talking about 2 of the exact same plays. Whether you go to Schroeder at captain, Rui at captain, it's the same lineup construction. These guys are separated by $200. 20% of my captain is Schroeder and Hachimura right now. I'm all for it. Yeah. Because of the prices of Jokic and AD, and as weird as it sounds, like LeBron at $12K, that's a preposterous price tag as far as I'm concerned. Jamal Murray is now expensive at 10-4. But if you want to get to these guys, you got to cut somewhere. I don't mind going to a Schroeder or a Rui. When you go to those guys, what you're trying to dodge is the 80-point Jokic game or the 80-point AD game, where those guys have so many points that you can never make it up with somebody else in that top spot. If you get just pedestrian-ish games out of the pay-up options where Jokic goes for 65 and AD goes for 55 to 60, that's when you're going to be able to get to a Rui or a Schroeder in a captain spot.
And it's doable. If Rui ends up with 30 actual fantasy points, that makes it, I mean, and he hasn't gotten there yet. I want to be very clear about that. I think he's done it once in the postseason, twice actually, 3 times. Wow. I forgot he did it in games 1 and 2 against Memphis. I forgot he had those huge scoring games.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been shooting the lights out. He's shooting like 60% from 3 or something really dumb.
He's shooting so well in this series. He was 8 for 11 from the field in game 1, 8 for 10, then 5 for 12. But still, 28, 30, and 34 minutes. Once you get past that, can you captain any? Not can you? Obviously, you can click the buttons, but can you captain any of these guys with not confidence that they're going to perform well, but confidence that you're building a decent lineup for a large field tournament?
I mean, you can make a path for Reeves at 7,400. Going lower than Schroeder and Hachimura, I don't really see. I don't have any shares of Jeff Green, who's pulling a bunch of ownership. I don't have any shares of Vanderbilt or anything at captain. I think the floor is Schroeder.
Yeah, it probably is. What about the mid-range here? You're
Mm.
captaining. What would you rather just captain Rui and Schroeder over saying, all right, I'll captain Reeves or Porter or Gordon or Bruce Brown, those types?
I think so, yeah. To me, D'Angelo Russell's the most interesting guy that we're projecting today. Well, we can get into that in a little bit since we're talking mid-range, but yeah, like I got a pretty hard time wanting to go to that 6 and 7K range at captain. You're not seeing a lot of, like, you've got Aaron Gordon's pulling 5% at 6,800. Michael Porter Jr. is pulling 7% at 7,200. 8% to Reeves at 7,400. I think all those guys are like appropriately owned there. You're getting in that 5 to 10% range for all of these functional members of their rotation. I don't have any, like, nothing separates them from me.
Aaron Gordon basically just relying on lobs at this point to give you double-digit points. I know he gets up some threes from time to time. He's 0 for 6 from 3 over his last 4 games.
Isn't that amazing? To think about, like, the person that the Magic wanted him to be, and now he's like the exact opposite player.
Yep. But plays a very fundamental role in this team, on this team.
Yeah, he's been offensively a train wreck for the past 3 games. Giant negative.
Really, really bad offensively. Yep. Yeah. But that's why I'm saying seriously, you look at some of the other games with Aaron Gordon when he's had, the 16-point game, he had a 23-point game. I watched them from start to finish. I was on Aaron Gordon overs, and it was, I swear, 10 of his baskets were I'll say probably 15 plus of those points were either lobs around the basket or just offensive rebound putback opportunities.
Yeah, it's not going to be much else. It's going to be a shit ton of good defense and take the shot and make the shot when they leave you wide open.
Man, from a fantasy perspective, though, he's been dreadful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's still 6,800. That's crazy.
Per minute, he's got to be at like 0.6 for this series.
I can get there quickly.
He's got to be around 0.6 for the series.
That sounds about right, though.
Yeah. Not great.
No. Can we talk about D'Angelo Russell?
Yeah, let's do it.
We got him at 8.5% ownership.
I know. Lowest.
And, like, I get it. Played 20 minutes the most recent game. Didn't play at all in the second quarter. We got the standard first quarter rotation. You got the standard third quarter rotation. If they're not minus 12, if they're even in the first quarter, like if it's just close, if he doesn't get bludgeoned, does he play the second quarter? Can he just play starters minutes today? Would that is that crazy?
No, I don't see why it would be crazy, because in game 1, he basically didn't play the second half. Yeah. And then he came back out and played 33 minutes the next game. I think this is a game flow thing.
So do I. If he maintains his spot in the starting lineup and is 9% owned, I think he's the most interesting guy that you can get to in large field.
Yeah.
And he could also be a giant, like, death sentence for your lineup too.
Yeah. It's just, he's very, very volatile. You have no idea what his minutes are going to look like. He hasn't played well at all. Defensively, he's a liability. And he's also not that cheap. That's the thing. He's not that cheap. He's the same price as Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon.
Michael Porter Jr. is 41% owned.
But Aaron Gordon's getting 34% ownership because his minutes are very consistent, but he's been terrible from a fantasy point per minute perspective too.
Yeah. Like, Aaron Gordon's going to play 34 plus minutes no matter what, because he does have a real skill that they need. They want him to play a shit ton of defense for at least the first 3 quarters. If they need to change that up later, they can do that. But whereas Russell's playing time is a little bit more tenuous. But if we're talking about just a low-owned guy, I think that's the easiest way to have a different lineup construction today.
I see what you're saying.
He can just make his shots in his first rotation and buy himself playing time moving forward.
Right.
He hits like 2 threes in the first quarter or something like that. They're going to go back to him.
Right. Now it's just, does he keep playing terribly or does he turn it around? We don't know. We'll find out later. It's a little surprising to me, though, that Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon have such similar ownership. Michael Porter Jr. has been markedly better, and they're basically the same price.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I'm not, if I'm being honest, I'm not getting a lot of MPJ right now because of that Russell ownership.
I get it, but I'm saying he's $400 more than Aaron Gordon. And sure, roster construction can play a role in that. He's just been so much better than Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon just isn't rebounding either. Let's not forget about that. It's not just that he's shooting poorly or not shooting at all. He's not rebounding at all.
No. I mean, like, I think a lot of that has to do with his current role.
It does, but that doesn't help us.
No, not from a fantasy perspective. No, but like, I don't look at him not getting boards as like a fault of Aaron Gordon in this series. I think that's just a symptom of the way that he is set up to play for now. And the fact that you've got Nikola Jokic out there grabbing like 20 a game.
Do you want to close this out with some of the top lineups that we have for today?
Absolutely.
Before we do, it's funny, man. I was thinking about this. You know, we have the Manscaped sponsor some of our shows, a few a month. You know, we come in and we talk about Manscaped, and it's easy to do. It's easy to do because we love it.
Are we talking Manscaped right now?
Yeah, just hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
It's about Manscaped if it helps.
Well, so is this. So hold on a second.
We got it.
And I was like, you know, I always try and come up with something creative for it. And this morning, I'm like, how do you come up with something creative to get the point across? Like, you know, we use this every day, that I never knew I would use something like this until they hit us up and we're like, here, try all this before you do the read. And I go, okay, now I use it every day. Adam Scher, while I was out on Saturday. If this isn't the best organic, unintentional, you know, Adam Scher probably already being a little intoxicated endorsement. While I'm already out, I was at a comedy show at this point, and I look down and I see a notification. It says, from Adam Scher at Ship My Money DFS, that says, trying to decide how much it should bother me that every time I put deodorant on my balls before I go out now, I think of Laffy D. And that's just what it is. Like, first of all, he's about to go out. First thing he's doing, hitting it, right? He's already used the Manscaped trimmers to make sure that he's looking good down there, not worrying about nicking the shaft or anything like that, in and out. Use the Manscaped razor that has the adjustable guard that you don't have to take off. You just spin a dial. And then he takes your and my favorite product, right? The lotion, ball lotion. And I'm sure he used the spritzer. I'm sure he used the spritzer before he went out. Smells fantastic. And he thought of yours truly. I was honored by that.
Nothing says I'm going out like picturing you while I rub my balls.
Yeah, man. And if you guys haven't yet, link is in the description. You're getting 20% off whatever you order, the entire order. Don't worry about the promo code. It's stochastic, but if you use the link, it's taking you to the same spot. 20% off the entire order plus free shipping. I promise you it's worth it. You guys will love it. If you don't have to order it again, but like Adam uses it every day. Josh uses it every day. I use it every day. There's nothing like everyone that it got sent to for us to use it, to check it out. We use it every day. I don't really think there's anything else to say about it.
No, there's not. I told Jordan this story a couple days ago. Laffy, you have not heard this yet.
What we got going on here?
And I don't want to paint Manscaped in a bad light. I'm going to paint me in a bad light here. If I would have just used all of the tools that they provided to me, I wouldn't have had the disaster that I had. I had to clean up a little bit.
What happened?
Got the old trimmer going, not the one with the spinny wheel, the other guy, the lawnmower, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Didn't put the guard on. Hit the taint.
Why
I nicked the taint. A lot of blood, man. A lot of blood.
Was there?
There was a lot of blood. Enough blood to drip.
Was it when it happened, did you know immediately and kind of jump back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that.
It was a real problem, man. It's a real problem. It looks like ground meat down there right now. It's a rough go.
So wait, you went into this with like, you know what? I don't need their proprietary guard. I should just be able to do this, no problem.
They provide you all of the guards to stop that from happening. I went in without it. This is not Manscaped's fault. That is my fault. Thank you, Manscaped, for providing me with the guard. I will be less stupid next time when attacking the taint.
I assume there's no better proof and evidence that Manscaped's proprietary ball shaving guard system works than you taking the guard off and nicking scrot.
Yeah. And it was not nice. Getting in the shower after that was not
scary.
nice. Yeah. I was just like, well, do I bandage this? What do I do here? Do I need like a pad of some sort? Lady style?
Yeah, you might just tape it from like up here to down here and around. Yeah.
It wasn't great, man. It wasn't good. The lawnmower did its job, and it was doing its job in a fantastic way. Everything else looks fantastic. Extra length, the whole nine. Everything's good. I got cocky.
No pun intended. Josh of Los Angeles, spot on. He said those cuts don't stop bleeding. No, they don't.
No,
they don't. There's no plugging that up. Like if you cut yourself shaving, I have a mole right here. I cut myself that mole before, and it'll just leak for hours.
Yeah. So like we've got like an independent bathtub, away from the shower. It's like a jacuzzi tub in our bathroom. So I stand in that to do everything. Just so like all the hair goes in one spot and I can vacuum it all out. Easy peasy. Well, I looked at it, I saw the one blink, drop, hit the ground, and like it on a white tub, it stood out like crazy. And I was just like, oh, this is going to be a real issue.
Yeah, that's when you start. Then Ross,
I touched it and I looked at my hand. I was just like,
yeah, please don't. Yeah, you get woozy.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, I didn't know. Like sure. I was just like, there's no way to know. So then you're pulling it up. You're trying to look underneath to find out like what the war scene looks like. And then you
fall into the wall because
I was so scared. Well, I was really nervous that I was just like, what happens if it's worse than I think it is? Like, do I got to go get that sewn up?
That's bad.
Like a post.
You walk in and go, what happened? And you just go, I should have used the guard. 20% off everything. Free shipping. Link in the description and in chat. Be like me and Josh. Don't be like Josh.
Don't be like me. Use the guard. That's why they send them to you.
Use the guard. Let's go over want to go over our top lineups before we get out of here?
Yeah, that has to be better than me nicking my taint.
Yeah, I'm glad you're okay. That can be frightening.
Dude, it took, I'd say a good 48 hours before I didn't notice it while I was still sitting. I thought I was going to need to sit on a donut or something. It was unpleasant. It was fully unpleasant.
All right. So want to do this? What's the top projected in lineup and top lineup that you're playing right now?
Yes. Top projected lineup for me. Anthony Davis at captain, Jokic, Reeves, Rui, Schroeder, Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Top lineup that I am playing. AD captain, Jokic, Russell, Rui, Schroeder, Walker. Hate it.
Wow.
5-1 Lakers with Jokic.
Gee, that's a lot.
If you think the Lakers could win, like, you don't hate that construction.
Do you worry though do you worry about being that it's Lonnie, Rui, Russell, and Schroeder, that just one of them almost by default ends up losing minutes to the other?
I mean, a little bit, but you're never going to make a showdown lineup where you're just like, that'll work.
Of course. What's the next best lineup?
Something has to break for you.
What's the next best lineup? And by the way, I don't think you have to worry about reading that one off here because I'm not sure anyone's going to play that even after hearing it.
No, my two optimals at the top are the same thing. AD, Jokic, Reeves, Rui, Schroeder. One has Vanderbilt, one has Jeff Green. The Jeff Green lineup leaves $400 on the table. The Vanderbilt lineup spends the whole salary.
All right, I don't mind that one.
I have in my top 10 projected lineups, I do have two separate Rui captain lineups, two separate Schroeder captain lineups, all basically the same lineup. They're rotating through each other, but they end up with Jokic, AD, and Murray as the pay-ups.
Follow Josh at Josh Engleman. _D. By the way, if you're not rocking the Stochastic avatar yet, trying to get the free month, get inducted into the Hall of Fame, stochastic.com/avatar. Just use it wherever you play, man. Use it wherever you play. We love seeing you guys winning, and particularly with the avatar, so we can throw it up. Jordan and I are about to record the Hall of Fame segment right now. So yeah, if you haven't done it, we actually had someone, Scott Turman, he tweeted us yesterday, Josh. He said, won a free month back in January and then been slowly building the bankroll with your tools that he got from the free month. Just won again, turned $1 into 500, first out of 5,900 people. Yeah, like that's what we're talking about. That's like, you have the avatar, you got the free month, right? And maybe you had the avatar, you got the free month not using the tools. Now you're using the tools and getting bigger wins.
It's exactly what we want to see. Like, it's the perfect scenario. We want to see people come in for as little as possible and want to stay because it's working for them. That's the dream scenario for everybody.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see you guys soon. Josh Engleman on Twitter at Loughy_D, LOUGHY_D. And shout out to Jordan for producing this one. Have a great rest of the day, guys. We'll see you back here. All the shows tonight. Odd Shop on the Odd Shopper channel, breaking down everything from a betting angle. MLB Deeper Dive at 5. NBA Live Before Lock at 7:30. We got you covered all day long, all night long. And Josh's PrizePicks video, if you signed up to get that free month, is over on Odd Shopper. Use that and use the tools. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Peace.
Peace.